Peru News Today, all you need to know about Peru. Chosica. 28 families affected by the Rimac River. Last Monday night, the residents of the Cantagallo and July 28 junks in Chosica relived the fear that tormented them during the first 3 months of last year. Due to the phenomenon of El Niño coastal, again their homes were flooded by the strength of the Rimac River that, in addition, threatened to undermine the bases and cause landslides. One of those affected was Eusebio Canales, 85, who lives alone and had to be helped by the neighbors to leave his home. According to the Municipality of Chosica, another 121 people from 28 families living at kilometer 35 of the central highway were affected by the floods yesterday. They remain in tents. The emergency last year swept the retaining wall. Given this, the district commune began the construction of a new barrier, but the works just started last week and had the end date of March. To put the bases that would support the wall, the San Juan Consortium, in charge of the works, diverted the Rimac River and that narrowed its channel in 2 slopes. This generated an increase in the flow and the subsequent overflow in both areas. The head of the National Institute of Civil Defense, Indechi, Jorge Chavez, ruled out that there is a risk of overflowing the river, since the increase recorded in the previous days is the normal and moderate that corresponds to the increase in seasonal rains. The flow of the Rimac River went from 23 cubic meters per second to 55 cubic meters per second. To light any warning, the channel should be at 80 cubic meters per second and an imminent overflow occurs between 100 cubic meters per second and 120 cubic meters. Said Chavez. Work delayed. The mayor of Chosica, Luis Bueno, said that, despite the fact that his jurisdiction does not have sufficient resources, the construction of the retaining walls began due to the ineffectiveness of the reconstruction with Changes Authority, ARC. We would not have been excited about the reconstruction with changes and we would have started many months ago. Unfortunately we lost time, Bueno said. According to the burgomaster, to date the works of decolonization of the Huaycallero and Rimac rivers have not been carried out. Edgar Quispe, head of the ARC, denied that preventive work has not been carried out in Chosica and affirmed that the commune began the construction of the retaining walls at a time not appropriate for these works, as the flow begins to rise with the season of rains. The mayor, Bueno, has not required, at least in my period, since last October, resources to be able to carry out cleaning and decolonization activities of the Rimac River. The authority has done it through the Ministry of Agriculture, the regional government of Lima and the Ministry of Housing, said Quispe. The commune of Chosica said that they have identified 32 critical points on the banks of the Rimac and Huaycallero basins that lack protection from overflows. However, those who reside there are not the only ones unprotected. Melissa Chumpitas and her family have lived since last year in a tent on the Malecon 28 de Julio, which was isolated by the overflow of the Rimac River yesterday. She says that different authorities promised her a prefabricated house that never arrived. Visit at www.perunewstoday.com. Also follow on Facebook and Twitter.